Before we begin the video, if you haven't yet, come on down and join my Discord server. Link is down in the description. A few months ago, we took a look at each Ninja's best minifigure, and today we are going to do the opposite. Excluding the avatars or any side figures, I'll be explaining my least favorite minifigures of each of the 6 Ninja. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Again, we're only going to talk about the main figures, but yeah, here it is, the worst minifigures of each Ninja. First up for today is going to be Season 9, Lloyd. And honestly, I couldn't find a Lloyd suit that I really disliked. I think most of them are fairly good, so I guess this one was the one that just wasn't as good as the rest. And the thing about this is, it's the style. The style of this suit, and I guess what Season 9 really goes for is that post-apocalyptic vibe. And that's kind of what we get here. We get this very armored up suit, and it does kind of convey that post-apocalyptic feeling. And I know that's exactly what they were going for here, but I feel like, I guess compared to some of the other styles for other Lloyd suits, this one isn't as good. I do feel like sometimes it is a bit messy with, I guess, these details here. And I know that is exactly what they were going for, but yeah, I guess that would just be my minor complaint. And one thing I do like about this suit is the platings that go over the knees. I do feel like that is quite nice, but the torso to me does feel a little bit messy. It feels like there's a lot going on. And going around to the back, yeah, honestly, I'm not really a huge fan of this. I don't really like those random, I guess, splotches of gray or silver. They feel, I guess on the back, they feel a bit odd. And yeah, I mean, this is not a terrible suit. Again, I kind of had trouble picking a Lloyd suit that was bad, but of the Lloyd suits, this one, I guess, just wasn't as good as the others. Next up is going to be Kai from Season 11, and unlike the Lloyd suit we just talked about, this one doesn't feel very messy. It does feel pretty organized, but, you know, my problem with this suit is it's kind of boring. It doesn't really feel like it has an exciting theme in the way that some of the other suits do. And this is kind of a complaint I just have with Season 11 suits in general. It feels like this suit, its main theme, or I guess the main thing going on here is straps. So the legs aren't bad, you've got these straps going on the knees and a belt here. And then up here are more pouches and straps, a pouch on the belt, 2 more on this diagonal belt. And yeah, that's kind of the entire suit. Going around to the back is a bit better, but unfortunately it's covered up by this armor piece. You can kind of make out the symbol with the fire there, which actually I think is pretty good. But yeah, I mean, it isn't really that the suit is messy or disorganized. It's kind of the opposite. It kind of feels boring to me. And it isn't a horrible suit, just not the best. Next up is going to be Season 13 Zane. And I've really never been a fan of this minifigure. To me, it just feels very messy, kind of all over the place. And I do like what they were going for with this gold and white. That is very similar to what they had with the ZX suits. And I think that was a nice idea. Unfortunately, for this suit at least, it doesn't really carry over well. I think the issue here is that the colors feel rather random. It feels kind of inconsistent, like the colors were put in random places as opposed to working together nicely. So you got gold on this left side, kind of at the top with the armor here, and then you have this entirely gold arm as well. The mask is fine, the mask I don't really have a problem with, but as for the actual suit, there's not too much gold, just this strap going across, and that's kind of it. Personally, I don't really feel like the blue belt belongs either. I feel like that would have been better as a gold or gray belt, but yeah, this suit, it just kind of feels like they had this idea they wanted to include gold as a secondary color, but they didn't really work it well with the white. It just feels like the gold doesn't really belong in this suit. Next up is going to be JZX, and there is barely anything going on in this minifigure. It is a very, very plain minifigure, and I guess this was one of the earlier figures. They have definitely improved a lot since these earlier years, but starting down at the legs, not a lot going on here. Basically, the entire left leg is blank, and the actual belt itself I don't really like either. I don't like how skinny it is and how it's kind of only on one of these legs. I'm not really a huge fan of that design. Once you get up to the torso, about half of it is blank. Really, something should have been here. As for the rest of the torso, it's fine. You got this armor on the left arm and on the left side, and kind of a belt buckle here. And after that, the armor and the mask, yeah, that's fine. Going around to the back, if we can look through that arbor, you see his lightning symbol. That's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, as for the rest of this minifigure, I feel like it is definitely a bit too simple. And then we have Season 11 Cole. This one I feel has some of the same issues as the J minifigure, although I will say this minifigure is not as bad. There are definitely some good parts here, such as the legs. The legs are actually very nice. I love this orange belt and these straps. I mean, basically every Ninjago leg piece just straps and a belt. They do that all the time, and I think it looks nice here. I would have to say that the weak point of this minifigure definitely would have to be the torso. The torso is just not very good in my opinion. It's really, really simple and not in a good way. Basically, all you have here is this leather belt that goes diagonally with a silver buckle and a gray line that runs vertically underneath. And that's kind of all. On the sides, you don't really see much going on. And yeah, I would have to say I don't like the torso here. Once you get above, again, the mask is great and the armor is great. I just think this torso is really simple. And can we see much on the back? No, we can't really see too much on the back because it's covered up by the armor piece. But yeah, I feel like this minifigure is kind of drab. It just feels kind of blah to me, and I would have to say this one probably isn't just my least favorite Cole figure, but also probably my least favorite Season 11 figure. Last but not least is going to be Nia from Season 9. I've never really been a huge fan of the gray colors, and her hunted suit in particular kind of captures why I wasn't really a fan of this color scheme. First off, I feel like there just isn't really enough blue here. I think the idea of just gray as a color is kind of boring to me. It just doesn't really feel very vibrant or exciting. So yeah, you got a lot of gray going on here. You got some blue details, but not enough in my opinion. I personally really would have done more to incorporate blue here. So yeah, I do feel like first off, this suit kind of is too gray, but also I'm just not really a huge fan of the actual design. You know, with Lloyd's suit, I really liked how it definitely felt like armor. This one, I don't know. I think the zipper is a bit weird. The legs they're okay. The legs aren't the worst part of this minifigure, but the torso just feels very disorganized. And again, you got that Woo Crew symbol like you did for Lloyd's. That's a nice touch, but I would have to say the rest of this suit is pretty boring. If you go around to the back, also, you know, same stuff going on here. Just, I guess, 2 blue details, and that's kind of it. And normally I don't really care too much about the masks, but the movie masks are my least favorite masks. They look fine in the show, but in set form, they're just kind of difficult to deal with because to basically adjust her face, you have to take off both parts, and that's kind of annoying. So yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of the movie mask, and in general, I'm not the biggest fan of this suit either. It's not terrible, it's just not really great. And that's going to be about all for our look at the worst minifigures. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share with anyone and everyone you know. Share your thoughts on your least favorite figures below, and I'll see you next time.